Good morning, members. We'll get back into reading the book on Monday. I've got some family obligations today, but while me and Mrs. Pop was getting ready, Miss Pop getting ready right now, we'll hear in a minute. I am doing what I always do. Now, externally, I'm admonishing Whitcombe and Turvey because of a lot of the BS they're spreading. And if they're spreading BS as the defense team is preparing to try to go to battle on this thing, then it's not good. It's just not good. So, I mean, I'm putting all of my eggs in the basket of the defense team is planning something. So, I have to be vigilant on who I praise and who I admonish. But it doesn't stop me from investigating every single thing in this case, and I like having some new information. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with it. So when we go to the laboratory report, if you watched my video I did yesterday, we went over this a long time ago when it first came out, but now that we've got some new information about it, I've found some things that I think are very interesting. I think you'll find it interesting as well. Let me go to the one where I can actually write on. Okay. So, everything, when they talk about debris here, like debris in the right hand of Ethan Chapin, well, we know that debris is actually hair. All right, so there's no doubt about it, it's hair. When they say debris from the left hand of Xana Kernodle, I'm going to assume that might be hair as well, because I can go to item number 8, and you see when you go down here into their results of examination, item submitted from Ethan Chapin, and you go to item submitted from Kaylee, Xana. Well, Xana lists item number 8, and it says these were all examined for hairs microscopically consistent with hairs in the head hair sample of Brian Christopher Koberger. However, none were found. So Xana has hairs in her hand as well as Ethan, and they don't belong to Brian either. And they are calling debris in most cases hair. And I know that because, let's see, debris from the body bag of Xana Kernodle. All right, so they got, when you see stuff like the body bag and like from the dryer and from the handbags, those are all things at the autopsy. They put everything in a dryer and they had bags taped over their hands. And when you go through here, look, item 13 is a bracelet from Ethan Chapin. I don't know if that's what maybe Whitcomb's talking about. They found in the downstairs bedroom in a picture. But let's see here. I know debris from northwest bedroom on the second floor. That was a hair that was on the wall that I've showed you. So look at these hairs. Another debris from northwest bedroom on second floor. From near the northwest bedroom, that was on the baseboard. So these are all I have logged into evidence. Let me show you. And I almost forgot about this report, so now I can put 2 and 2 together. Let's see. When I go to copy, where's copy? Right there. Copy. I go to numbered and lettered evidence. All right, so you can see that, like this one right here. See, this is a hair that was on the baseboard. That's what they're talking about. And then there was the hair near the second floor bedroom door on the wall right here. And they call all these hairs debris for some reason. Let's see, right here. That was another hair on the wall near Xana's room. So that's the other one they're talking about, debris on the second floor. So, I mean, that does add up. The debris is hair. And then debris from a drying cabinet. That's the drying cabinet at the pathologist office where they perform the autopsy. And then it gets into all of Koberger's stuff. But so as we're going through here, we know that there was hair in Xana's hand, didn't match Koberger. The hair in Ethan's hand didn't match Koberger. And again, this is from the FBI has control of this evidence. I mean, the defense can't say I want it tested because they had trouble enough even getting the report from the FBI. When FBI has control of evidence, I mean, they have to go through and go through a process that is absolutely ridiculous. And we talked about this as we covered the covered the trial, or covered the pretrial motions. Whenever they needed something from the FBI, I mean, they had to go through and file a what's it called? A Tongi report or something? A Tongi? I can't remember the name of it, but it's a specific, a TUI. They have to send a TUI letter and all this kind of stuff. So it's not like they could just say, I want it tested, like everybody's screaming from the rooftops. But I also found this to be interesting. We know that Xana was barefoot. Okay, there's no doubt about that. And we know that just simply from not only it says in there that Xana was found barefoot in the forensic reports, but L3, you can see Xana's toe prints that they uncovered with a Medo Black. So we know she was barefoot. And we believe Maddie was barefoot as well, because it says that in the forensic reports of the crime scene breakdown. We know Ethan had socks on, right? Because in the forensic breakdown, it said Ethan had socks on. So when we go to this, we got, they tested it. Item 31, left sock from Ethan Chapin. Item 32, right sock from Ethan Chapin. But we also know, based on Whitcombe and an interview that he gave, they asked him, did Kaylee have on socks? And he said she had one sock on and one sock was off. And can't find anything else that talks about socks for Kaylee. So it lines up, though, because in this report, item 35, left sock from Kaylee Gonzalez. Well, there's no right sock. So we know Ethan had on socks, and they got his left and right sock. Maddie and Xana didn't have on socks, so they're not listed in here as having any evidence that was processed for socks. But bam, right there, we got one sock on Kaylee. So it does kind of confirm that. And here's what that tells me. With all of the evidence in the living room about Kaylee that everybody wants to ignore for some reason, and I'm beginning to think, and after I show you this, I think you'll agree with me, it's not that they're ignoring it because it's just not, strong evidence for them. It's purposefully being ignored, because it's not like I'm some super crime scene recreationist. There's too many just slap you in the face things that tell you what happened in this. But starts off with, we've got the pong table blood and the direction of travel it was coming from that tells me Kaylee was first attacked here. And then you've got all of the cast off with the tails that show you the direction that the cast off was coming from. And it's obviously coming from Kaylee going this way. So she's attacked here and she made her way all the way to about right here based on the blood. You got the sample going straight here. You got the two on top of the handrail here that points to this direction. You got the ones on the actual staircase from the second to the first floor that aims in this direction. Then you got the ones on the half wall that come in this direction. So it's clear that Kaylee was hit here based on the blood, and then she was traveling in this direction before she stopped. Well, there's one. But now if you follow that progression, then you've got this area right here where I believe Kaylee would have come to rest before she was picked up and carried upstairs. Now, when we look at that area in the room and we go to the photographs, and lo and behold, right where that area is right there, you've got a sock laying there. So isn't it odd that Kaylee has one sock on up in the bedroom and there's just another sock laying right here, and it happens to be right in the position where you would expect to find something if Kaylee was being attacked and ended up right here? It's too much for me. And it's not like this sock just ended up here and it wasn't there before, because when I go to Nunez's body cam, the first view we have of any of this, and I take a screenshot and look, that sock is laying right there from the very beginning. So if Kaylee's got one sock on, I wish I could see the sock that she had on, because if it matches this one right here, then once again, this is some irrefutable stuff. And it doesn't take a crime scene genius to figure out if she's got one sock on up there, one right here, and they follow the blood trail, it leads to a sock. I think they're being disingenuous when they're telling us their interpretation of the breakdown of the crime scene. Let me know your thoughts on that as well. Now let's go to the hair in Ethan's hand. So originally this was the image that I was referring to, where I could just see it looked like this hair looked more black and it was just kind of short and frizzy. But now I've scoured the photos and I found this. Here's a photo of it. Yeah, I know this is terrible, but the bed pulled back, and I have no idea what all of this is, but it is absolutely horrible. But when you look at it, I mean, it appears there is, a considerable amount of hair in this. I mean, I don't even know what this is. I mean, I have no idea what this is. This is just putrid. But what is it? But look, am I crazy, or I mean, is this is just hair here? Is this a bunch of hair here? Either way, though, we can now get a better idea of the length of this hair. And if Whitcomb's right, and this is like a sandy blonde hair, and it's just maybe dark because it has blood on it, well, I mean, it certainly wouldn't match any of the victims. It wouldn't be Xana's. It wouldn't be Kaylee's. It wouldn't be Maddie's. It certainly wouldn't be Bethany or Dylan. But it's too long to be like a Malwich or somebody like that. So, I mean, this looks like it would come from probably a female. Now, I've always said, and I'll stand on it to this day, that Xana was no doubt attacked by a female, because there's no way a girl that has a blood alcohol level of 0.2 or 2.7, whatever, fights off as much as she fought off if that was a strong man attacker. I mean, she fought her off too much. We know it was a female based on that. And as she's fighting her off, at one point, Xana, I know she's hit when the door opens, she goes back to the right, and she's attacked in the far right corner because of the blood spatter on the wall. Then she makes it over to the bed by Ethan, and then she fights her way until she's knocked down, her head hits the wall, and she crawls back to her final resting position. I know that's what happened based on the blood. But when she hits the bed, if she hits the bed at the same time Ethan's being attacked, that means Ethan could have grabbed her head of hair, and that's what we could see right there. And it just so happens to be the length of hair that would match my prime suspect in this case, y'all. And Miss B here just happens to have the exact length of hair that we see in that picture. And you can tell from her photos, she is absolutely dyeing this hair, so it may be even more, dark naturally than you see in photos like this. But when you talk about consciousness of guilt, I mean, just a month after the crime, when she's pulled over in the DoorDash driver's boyfriend's truck, and she runs from the cops and gets away, I mean, that is when you talk about consciousness of guilt, that's what you're looking for. You're looking for somebody that's so conscious of guilt that when they get pulled over, they hit the gas from the cops and try to outrun them on an icy road. So, and then all the other things around her just add up. And I got to be real careful, because this is the only one of my suspects that is still alive. And I believe she is, I have to go check on, I can't remember if she's incarcerated now or not. But this is one that doesn't have any charges against her, because she is the direct connection to my Aryan boys up there in Ellensburg. But then it brings me to my next thing, which is in the book. And that's one of the reasons I haven't finished reading this chapter for y'all, is because a lot of the chapter is time boxes, just page after page of time boxes that you can't really read. So I got to fix my scanner and get it uploaded for you so that we can actually go through and read it together. But in one of those time boxes, it brings up even more questions about the DoorDash order. And guess where she works? Jack in the Box. I mean, it's too much, but check this out. One of the biggest mysteries in the case that I am yet to get to the bottom of, because I know the DoorDash driver plays a part in bringing the perps into this crime. I just can't figure out how it's possible that they did it. I mean, I did think that I had it with the fact that Dylan's phone was hacked, but Dylan would have had to place the DoorDash order. So it drives me crazy, but I know that it's not as straight up as they want it to be, because they got the DoorDash receipt at $3.59. We've got this DoorDash order form where anybody could have put in Xana's name and claimed to, place this DoorDash order at $2.15. It's delivered at $3.59, and then somebody sent her a message at $3.54. Now, in Whitcomb's book, he said that Xana sent the message because it's come from her phone records. I don't know if I believe that or not, though. So, and I know there's something up because the state tried to enter the DoorDash records for Ethan and Xana, and then the defense came back and said DoorDash records for Ethan and Xana contains Ethan's DoorDash, does not contains Xana's. And if it was Xana's DoorDash app that placed the order and has Xana, then it shouldn't have been on Ethan's phone like that. And even if it was on Ethan's phone, it would still be Xana's DoorDash. So regardless of whose phone it was on, whoever's account it is, should be their account that ordered the food. So it's just, there's always been something around it. But now we got a giant monkey wrench. Check this out. If this is true, we've got the 351 to add another one to our 351. We know at 3:51 a.m., Molly flashes her flashlight from King Road. That's when she walks to the end of the road, turns around, and signals somebody with the flashlight. We've always been very aware. I've done videos titled 351. Because at the same time, Dylan at 3:51 was creating a new contact, Brittany Fernandez. But now check this out. In Whitcomb's book, it says at 3:51 a.m., Emily Allant Venmos Xana $14. At 3:51, Emily's Venmo and Xana $14 dang. So I do a little research. And we know, based on the pictures, that the DoorDash order contained they have another picture where they lay everything out, and it had 2 little packets for tacos. So they got 2 tacos and 2 orders of curly fries in this DoorDash order. And that's how we know that the curly fries in the bedroom floor of Xana's came from the DoorDash. So here's what I did. I went back in 2022. I said, now look, if somebody orders 2 tacos and 2 orders of curly fries from Jack in the Box through DoorDash, how much would it be? Estimated food subtotal between $8.19 and $10.99. And then with the driver tip, which is a recommended $3 to $5 recommended minimum, I'll be danged if it don't equal $14. So how, if Xana orders the food at $2.15, she doesn't get it until $3.59. She's sending text messages for where you at $3.54. Yet we got Emily Venmo and Xana $14 at $3.51 just before she receives the order. Why? Because Xana would have paid for it when she ordered it at $2.15. So why would Emily wait till $3.51 to send her $14? This is a huge red flag in the DoorDash. And I am going to have more information to be able to solve the DoorDash situation. Let me know your thoughts, but this is, absolutely insane. I think you would agree. Y'all have a wonderful day, members, and you probably won't hear back from me again until tomorrow.